Hi. So this is my review on the Iron Man game, the from 2008, based off the 2000 Iron Man flick starring Robert Downey. That was a piece of shit, like the game was. Game better or worse? Better easily, but that being said, it's still a crappy game because the controls most time, well, for some reason, don't have off timing effect, as in very off. So most time broken basically. And Iron Man moves very stiff when he's flying, but you only feel like you have to take control over him when he's on the ground, which is not good because he needs to be majority of the time needs to be in the air to order to proceed in the game. The game is literally a expansion on the nostalgia of Iron Man's character throughout the movie. Instead of being loosely based off of the movie, it's more nearly an expansion of Iron Man's character from the movie, and also doing its own thing also a little. But does mostly it's weird because it's mostly expansion on like other video game movies where it doesn't really follow the plot. This one follows the plot, but it doesn't like feel like identical. It expands on the plot of the movie, so it's kind of interesting. That's an interesting way to go, and I like the way they go when telling the story. However, the fact that you really feel most of the control, I feel like you're mostly not in control of Iron Man, is what really damages this game big time. Unless you just want to watch it, but this game you have to play it. It's basically like it's kind of my feelings towards the 2006 Sonic game called Sonic the Hedgehog, although some people call it Sonic '06 for some reason. Um, and it has a really good inventive plot, but you feel like you're not in control of Sonic most of the time. This is worse than that because you feel like you're having less control over Iron Man than Sonic from 2006 Sonic game. And I'm just going to say this is a worse game than Superman Returns. It is also the worst game I have ever played based off of a comic book game. And that's quite saying something because I've seen a lot of shit. I've seen a lot of shitty games. And this is also the worst game I have ever played in my life. And I played a lot of crap. I own some of it. So, yeah, I'm glad I just rented this game years ago when it came out, but I never bought a physical copy of it because I just was smart to not buy it because it was crap. I mean, I just hated this game. And the game started out pretty solid because you don't have to fly out, you can just shoot at people and burn shit down because you're in the Mach 1 suit, and the Mach 1 suit doesn't really fly at all until the cutscene comes in. Then it's all downhill from there because then you get the Mach 2 suit, then the Mach 3, and it's like the game designers thought would be good to make each Mach as you progress in the game. You know how I guess the most famous one, Mach 3, where gave it a paint job because he found he decided to call it Mach 3 because he gave it a paint job in the movie because of the ice problem that when you're in space. Yeah, that's a good reason to to do that, but to incorporate Iron Man's trademark look in the movie. But the game completely skips that part of the movie and focuses on the rest of the stuff, like Obadiah Eyes. Instead of out where nowhere being a bad guy, he's an active bad guy throughout the game. And it cuts back and forth to our present day, and Iron Man being in a cave talking with his buddy while playing chess. And this is only cutscenes. And you go back to playing the game in present day, and I don't know, maybe the game feels incredibly a rushed product and unfinished product, and unpolished graphics and clear sound lacking of, and just doesn't feel like they wanted to do it, but just because they were paid to do it. And that's probably why the game didn't do so well, and why it received poorly from critics and audiences, and didn't sell that many copies. It's better. I said it was better from than Iron Man 3, than Iron Man 1, the movie, but not for a marketing experience. For marketing experience, it's worth more and made less money than Iron Man 1 did. And Iron Man 1 made a decent amount of money here and did what was critics and audience, but I never understood why, because I thought it was a generic, not just generic and formulaic film, but it also was, I was just not invested in it at all, and that's why I thought it sucked. So this is an interesting kind of suck, because you're invested in it. It's kind of like watching a car crash with people after people got decapitated from the car crash, because you know it's bad, but you can't help but keep your eyes off of it and therefore you can't stop playing with it. Sort of like how I feel with Superman Returns, the game, or Superman 64, the game. It is fascinating bad. That being said, it's still a piece of shit. The only thing that looked good in this, when it comes to graphics on techno level, is Iron Man's suit. That's the only thing where I think people put time and effort in to making sure his suit doesn't look like as bad as the other graphics in the game. Or as Nightmare Fuel. Some people will say. So, yeah, because it actually looks, I think the suit in the game looks better than the suit in the Iron Man movie, which is not saying that much, because the suit in the Iron Man movie looks like rubber, and this looks like metal when it's in action, versus the action when the suit's in action when you play the game. So yeah, it's just like, I don't know, the movie and the game to me both suck. So I don't know, I mean, I'll pick the game over the movie, but that being said, the movie's shorter than the game, because for some reason, well, at least it feels shorter, probably because I kept on, and you're going to die, by the way, you're going to die a lot in this game if you play it, because that's how bad the missions are and how insanely frustrating they are, every one of them, except the first one, when you play as a Mark 1, and you only play with the Mark 1 once in the game. There's also a serious lack of imagination it feels like there's a serious lack of imagination in terms of gameplay and making the controls function. It's just, And you feel like no one really gave a shit about this. Probably figured it was going to not do well, the movie, but therefore, why even bother for doing that? Because back in today, superhero movies didn't got the credit they deserved back then, before Iron Man Dark Knight. I mean, even with the Spider-Man trilogy, they didn't got the credit they deserve until someone. I mean, they made lots of money. They had potential to make lots of money. They did with the Spider-Man trilogy, but however, they weren't seen as. They weren't. People didn't look at them as characters. They didn't saw them as great, rich characters until the Dark Knight came on, and then Iron Man came out, and that kind of shoot the success of making well-rounded characters in the foot that were established in comic book lore, because they decided to make Iron Man not a character in the movie, but a tool to help with the plot. That's kind of how I feel like Tony Stark in this game also. He feels like a tool, but less of a tool to follow the plot. But, yeah, so he straight up sucks like Iron Man in the movie. Like Tony Stark in the movie, because he doesn't feel like the Tony I love. The Tony I was invested in and would only get any comic book of Iron Man that he could get his hands on. And while the comic sucked or not, at least I could at least say I was. And like when I say sucked, I mean the story doesn't make any sense, but I could at least say that Tony is like has this typical, usual, sarcastic and big ego, and very stubborn. Comic books choice, not this video game, Tony Stark from 2008 or the 2008 Iron Man movie, the first one. And that's, did I give this a 1 out of 10? I did, didn't I? I'm just dragging this on, I think. So I'm going to stop now.